In today's video, I built my very own nail salon in my Bloxburg city, Los Angeles. Hey glossettes, welcome back. How are you guys doing today? Today we're back in my Bloxburg city building series Los Angeles to add another build to this plot. Now we actually are building over here today, down on this one over here, and that's because we are building, let me zoom in here, hang on. We are building a nail salon. In today's video, I've been so excited for this. This is going to be so cute. Now in terms of the plans for this build, I don't really have any except this. I very quickly drew this before I started recording, and honestly, I don't think it'll actually stick to this. However, one thing I do know I want is a really cool sign with like giant nail varnish bottles and stuff like that. So that's kind of like the only thing I want to stick to with this, but who knows how this is going to turn out, honestly. And in terms of the inside, let me hop into build mode here. I do have a rough layout kind of added onto here. So what we're going to do is we will have kind of like the area where they do your nails over here. We'll have some chairs back here where you can get like pedicures, you know, when they kind of put your feet in like the water. We're gonna have like a reception desk over here, maybe some kind of waiting area. There's like a back room in here as well, and the only thing that I know for sure I really want in here is a wall full of nail varnish. You know, when they have like a wall full of all the different colors you can get, I really want to do that. However, there may be an issue with this. So I mentioned this in my, I think the video where I built my real life house. I kind of talked about this a little bit, but if we actually look at the nail varnish item, which is this, as you can see, it's actually 3 nail varnishes. So this is one item and we can't actually get an individual one. So how am I meant to make like a shelf? Like, how am I meant to line all these up? I think what we're gonna have to do is kind of do something like this, where I kind of place them like in the same row as each other, like this for example, and then add a wall behind the first row like this. Okay, wait, oh my god, that's so clever. So we can kind of hide the ones behind it and have like a row of nail varnishes and just pretend these aren't here. But I really want to do this. I really want to do kind of like a rainbow effect on it, so they're all kind of in color order. I think we might do it over here, like behind this wall. The issue is this goes into another build plan, so I'm not too sure where to put it because I don't want to put it over here. I think we could kind of build something in this wall. In fact, I think I might do that first. So what we're gonna do, okay, let me see what I can do with this. So if I add this like this, make a fake wall, I feel like this one's also gonna be kind of quick to do. I'm not gonna lie, it's not a big unit and it's not as complicated as the hair salon, for example. Okay, let's measure this out. So if I grab one of these, okay, wait, this isn't as far back as I thought. So we can do this, we can grab another one and then hide these like this. Okay, that's perfect. Okay, that doesn't actually take up as much space as I thought. So this is how big the shelf is going to be, and then we're just going to have a bunch of different colors. Also, I feel like no one except the UK says nail varnish. I feel like everyone says nail polish. So if I say nail varnish, that's what I mean. I think you can probably tell that by now, but I have a little story time for you guys that I was actually talking about in the Bloxburg Discord server the other day. As some of you may know, I have a brother. Some of you have probably seen him in my comment section before because he makes it very obvious that he is my brother, and he's pretty cool. Like, we get on really well. However, when we were younger, I'm gonna be real, he was a menace. He knows he was a menace. If he's listening to this, he will agree with me, I promise you. But oh wait, how many shelves is this? 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. Okay, let me count how many colors I need. Anyways, he was a menace, okay? And there was this one time when I was around 9 years old, I think, and he's a few years younger than me, so he was younger at this point. But we were at this kind of, if you live in England, you know what I mean, we have these like national trust places, which are normally big like manor houses and parks that are protected by national trust. Did I say natural trust? I don't even know. I don't know, but they're basically like these big kind of parks you can go to, and we were at this one which has like this huge kind of park area, and it's really cool. We used to go there quite a lot, and I was hanging upside down from these monkey bars, okay, by my feet. Like, my legs were kind of like over the bar. I was just hanging there, and what my brother decided to do, he went to where my legs were kind of like hanging off and he unflipped them, so I just fell to the ground, like onto my head. I was upside down, which could have obviously ended very badly because I obviously was gonna land like on my head. So it was actually insane. Like, I have no idea what went through his head. However, to make this even kind of funnier, the main focus of this story is that we actually have a picture, because at the same time he did it, my mom was trying to take a picture of me hanging like upside down on these monkey bars, so she managed to catch him doing it like live in action as I fall off the bars. And I'm gonna put it on screen. This is the picture, okay? I'm the one falling upside down, and obviously you can see him next to me after he just unflipped my legs in an attempt to probably kill me. Honestly, I wouldn't put it past him. I was telling people about it the other day and I was like, oh my god, I don't think I've ever put this in a video before, and I find it really funny. So there you go, there's the picture. Obviously he got told off afterwards by my parents because he pretty much just tried to kill me off, and he immediately was so grumpy afterwards, as if he was the one who had just fallen on his head. Like he was kind of like for the rest of the trip like really grumpy. This is actually insane though. Look at all these nail varnishes. I was gonna maybe use the other sizes to kind of like switch up the shelves, but I kind of feel like we should just use the square ones like I'm doing. I might use the little kind of blue round ones, these ones further to the top, and those can kind of be like special effect nail varnishes. You know, when they have like glitter shades and stuff, maybe we could. And then maybe as well, I could use the orange shaped bottle as like kind of like a gel nail varnish range, because I feel like the gels are normally like not see-through bottles. We could actually have like a lot of different products. Also, it won't let me place them and I'm going insane. I might as well just copy and paste this shelf. Actually, it's probably going to save me a lot of hassle. Okay, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to quickly finish this off and also add all the colors, and I will see you guys in a few seconds. So I managed to finish off all the nail varnishes on these shelves, and this looks so cute. So we have like kind of like an ombre effect that goes from like red to pink to purple to blue to green to yellow, orange, brown, and then at the bottom there's kind of like all kind of shades of like black and white, and then some nude colors as well. And then up here we also have the kind of row of like the different shapes. So we have another kind of color rainbow, and then at the top we have these ones which are meant to be, you know, like the bottles of gel nail polish that are always just completely black. So I've added like a huge variety, and in terms of the color scheme, I did make the walls pink and like the shelves white with wood behind and then a wooden floor, but I don't think I'm going to keep it like this. I was just kind of messing around. I have no idea what the color scheme of this is going to end up looking like, but I do know that I kind of like the black and the pink, because I saw a reference image of like I'll try and put it on screen if I find it again. It was like a pink building with black kind of windows and stuff, and I thought it looked really good. So but what I think we're going to do now is the two nail kind of stations here, and I do actually want to build custom tables, so we're going to do that first, and then after that we are going to make, I think, our own little kind of gel lamp, you know, the UV lamps. But for the table, what I actually want to do is have it kind of round, so I'm going to use this basic shape to work out the height, but what I think I'm going to do is have kind of curved sides, one there, and then this one can be here. You know what's kind of weird? So you know when you kind of transform basic shapes, let me show you guys. This is how thin you can make the cube one, and then if I grab the cylinder, you can actually make the cylinder the same thickness as the cube one for like the smallest both can go. Can you see how it's like a perfect match? But what you can't do is do it with a triangle. For some reason, I think it's probably a more complicated shape and they can't make it as small. But if you do this to its like smallest size, it's like twice the size of like the square and everything. Like, I don't know why, but it's so annoying. Like, I just want to make it as like thin as those. Also, as per usual, I've just been on Pinterest kind of looking at inspo for things in this, and I refreshed my homepage and I got really confused for a second, because like for a second I thought, oh my god, am I like, did I switch tabs and go on my YouTube channel? Because tell me why. I see my own thumbnail just appear on my homepage on Pinterest. Like, I think this is a pretty common experience now for most YouTubers, but the amount of people who re-upload pictures of my builds or like links to my videos on Pinterest is crazy. Weirdly enough, I feel like it used to happen more often like a few years ago, maybe 2020, 2021, when I had a lot less subscribers. But to be fair, I think it's because I used to post more on Instagram then, but it's so annoying. Like, one pet peeve I have, and it's not even annoying for me, I feel like I get more annoyed when it happens to other people because it doesn't really affect me that much, but I just hate it when people will screenshot people's builds and just stick them on Pinterest. Like, that is not yours. I'm pretty sure there's this one account that I can't remember the name of, and I wouldn't say anyways because I don't want to call someone out like that, but they do it all the time. But just like all their Pinterest is just re-uploading people's bloxburg builds. Some of them are mine, and I've asked them to take mine down before and they haven't. So just know, guys, please don't do that, please. Okay, is this too tall? I feel like this table is kind of looking a bit who? Caleb, why is someone in here? Okay, anyways, I feel like it looks too tall. Why is there? Okay, you know what? I let a bunch of my staff like on my plots the other day, and this is what I have to deal with. I'm so surprised that they haven't changed the decals to like really stupid stuff in here. But every time I let people on my plot, I just like find really random like TVs on or the cabinets open. Anyways, let's see how tall these tables are to kind of sit next to. Okay, wait, that's not bad. I probably need to make the chairs kind of closer, but I feel like maybe slightly too tall, but I can just like transform it quickly. I'm just gonna make it this tall instead. But now the structure of the table's done, we are actually gonna try and make like a gel lamp, like one of these things. So we can just pick a kind of nice design. I think I want to go for more of like this, where it's kind of like it's got the bottom bit as well, but we are going to attempt to make one of these. And also all the little kind of tools and stuff I need as well. How could I make this? I think what I'm going to do is make it quite round. So I am going to use a basic shaped cylinder for like the base of this. Is that a good size? Is that too big? How am I going to do the top bit? Okay, to make this a bit easier, I'm going to make the back of it not round so we can kind of like use squares for the side. So this is kind of the shape. I don't know what to do. Okay, you know what? I'm going to time lapse myself making this because this is going to be a lot of tiny detailing with very small parts to make this. So I feel like I need to concentrate and not yap for a few minutes. So to make the lamp, I used that curved basic shape thingy for the back, and then for the sides, I tried to use basic shape cubes, but even on the smaller scale, they weren't small enough. So I resorted to starting over and using structurals for the sides instead, which worked much better as of course they are much smaller. Next, I added another structural for the top of the lamp and then a smaller structural piece for like the timer screen on top, and then I even covered the inside walls in more structurals of a different color for extra detail. Plus I added a tiny light cube inside for like the UV light, which is pretty cool. Once that was done, I started adding decorations onto the tables like nail tools and things, and I added the second table as well at the back. Then once those were done, I made like this extra kind of storage rack thing out of basic shapes and structurals to put in more nail supplies next to the tables for extra detail. Finally, I decided to try and tackle the lighting, which is always kind of my worst thing to do in a build, and I really wanted to have a cool light. So I first tested out some lanterns because I love these. Then I realized it would probably be cool to have the light actually look like a nail varnish and to have like the light inside, and coincidentally the lantern fit the shape pretty well. So I basically just built this nail varnish shape around it with basic shapes, and it honestly looks so cool. I can't get over how cute these lights are. Like, oh my goodness, this area is looking really cute. There is a few more details I want to add, however we are going to move on and do kind of like this area. I also added some ceiling tiles to the kind of ceiling because obviously this is meant to be like a store, so I don't want to add a really pretty ceiling. I want it to kind of be realistic. This is the same thing I did in the hair salon over here, so these have the same tiles. And if you remember from the hair salon, these are actually lights that I've just turned off. So if I get one, it is the square ceiling light, and I've just turned it off, and it makes such a good tile. But what we're going to do now is this area, and this is the pedicure area. So obviously you sit on these chairs and you kind of put your feet in like the bucket of water, like the spa thing, and they do your nails. I had a really good reference image. Oh wait, it's here, hang on. This is kind of what it is. So what we need to do is make the chairs kind of built up a bit more and then have the little kind of sink thing at the bottom. But what we're going to do first is just start on the kind of structure of the little sink. I kind of want to use an actual sink, and the only one we could use if we wanted to do that is, let me find it, this sink here, the box sink. So we can easily attach this and kind of move it where we want it. So this can go here. Let me just test out how far down the avatar kind of sits on the chair. Oh my god, this is looking so cool. Okay, let me sit down. Okay, wait, this is kind of perfect. And if I recline, oh, it kind of doesn't work if I do that, so we're just gonna have to keep it not reclined. But this looks really good. This is kind of perfect. Maybe a tiny bit higher, but it doesn't look as bad as I thought. Let me just adjust it a little bit, and then what I'm gonna do now is just kind of fix up this sink thing. So I'm just gonna color everything white and try and kind of fill in like an outline for it using some more basic shapes. Funnily enough, I've only ever went and actually got my nails done somewhere, I think once. Actually no, twice. I've got it 2 times. Once when I was like 8, and then once last year before I went on holiday, because I always do my own nails. Like I kind of stick on my own false nails. I actually use, you know, Primark. I use Primark's nails a lot because they're actually so good. They do this like very specific French tip one. Like I think it's called the glossy French tip, ironically, and it's so good. So I'll get those nails and then I'll stick them on with a better glue, because we all know Primark's nail glue sucks. Primark's nails are so good. Either that or I just buy kind of like the basic kind of nail, I guess, with nothing on it, and I'll kind of paint my own on. I actually got these really cute kind of pink Halloween nails from Primark recently that I'm gonna put on in October. Oh my god, I'm so excited for Halloween. I've said it in like 5 videos recently, but guys, I can't wait for the Halloween update. Like I feel like it's gonna be so good. I can't wait to see kind of what they're doing. Obviously last year they changed a lot, so we obviously got like the ticket currency and the ghost hunting mini game. So I feel like because this year I'm guessing they're just gonna kind of make everything a bit better than last year, because they had like such a good foundation last year for kind of new, better kind of Halloween updates. I'm so excited to see what we get this year. Like I feel like all I talk about is Halloween and Christmas. I'm sorry, okay? This is looking pretty good though. I don't know what to add onto the chair. Maybe do I use a different chair, because we have the version of it with like arms on the side. Does that look better? I feel like this looks more comfy. These ones look a bit odd. odd. Okay, you know what? We're using this. This is actually looking so cool. Okay, what else should I add? I feel like we need like a table in the middle. We could also add some fake water and bubbles in these, or maybe in one of them. Kind of like what I've done over here. So this one is kind of messy. Like you can tell they have all the nail varnish out as if they're actively doing someone's nails. Like the stuff is removed from here, but this one is like not being used right now. Like I kind of want to do that with this. So one of them is kind of got water and bubbles in and the other one doesn't. Does that make sense? I don't know. Do we think I need to change the floor for around this area? Because obviously this is like water and I feel like we need tiles over here. Once again, kind of similar to in the salon, I have like tiles where the hair washing stations are. Did I not do the same for this? I feel like this kind of goes. I feel like this makes sense. I could even, okay, what I think I'm gonna do is extend this so it actually kind of goes into the little kind of kitchen storage room, because I feel like it looks odd being like this close to the room and kind of blocking it off. So I'm just gonna kind of extend it because I feel like it just looks like a better layout if I have it connected. And then in here I want to have kind of like a cute little kitchen area with like a mini fridge and snacks for people, because I feel like all the fancy stores always have like complimentary drinks and things. One that this reminds me of is there is this furniture store in the Metro Center called Rowan. For those of you who live up north, you'll know what I'm on about, and it's so nice. And they have a little area where there's like kind of complimentary drinks and things, I guess, for people making appointments to talk about furniture. But they also had like this cinema room, which was so cute, and they'd play like movies in it all the time. Because obviously they're a furniture store, they also had like one of their sofas in there that you could sit on, and it was one of my favorite places. Like I loved going and sitting in there. However, now it's closed. Like they've had to get rid of it, and I'm assuming it's because people kind of don't respect spaces and were probably making a mess or being stupid in there, which is so annoying because I feel like it just ruins it for the rest of us. Like I loved it in there so much. IKEA also has one, the IKEA at the Metro Center. For those of you who have absolutely no idea what I'm on about, the Metro Center is a shopping center. But yeah, IKEA has a little movie room as well, which they haven't closed theirs yet, so I guess I can go there instead. Anyways, what I'm doing now is just adding some tiles onto the kitchen. I'm not too sure what color to make them, so I'm just gonna kind of alternate pink and white for now. Okay, so it's been a few hours and I have done, as you can see, quite a lot of work on this. Actually, no, not even that, because it's like one room. However, what I've done is in here we have a lovely little kitchen and like storage area, and then I made like the reception desk and everything, and as you can tell, I made it in the shape of a giant nail varnish bottle. We are gonna have a logo on this. Obviously, I have like a little area where they can like sell nail polish and stuff. We have a little waiting room. It's honestly looking really good in here. I genuinely think this is like one of my favorite builds ever because this is adorable. The lighting and everything is just so cute. Like this area, how cute does this look? I cannot believe it's turned out this well. However, the last thing we kind of need to do is the outside. So I did make this giant nail file, and look at this, it's blue, it's not even pink. Like who am I? Where is all the pink gone? I feel like I'm using so many different colors in this if we ignore all the pink walls and everything. But yeah, this is gonna be kind of like the logo. Like I want to write the salon name on, which we still don't have, by the way. I think I'll ask the Discord server later on what name we should have, but we are gonna put this up here. And then also I want to build like another nail varnish bottle, but kind of like a flat one for the logo, and also just decorate the rest of this. But this is kind of the base we have. I just added some like wall trims and stuff, and then after that we'll pretty much be done, except I need to kind of add like the decals and a few final touches. Oh yeah, I also added the beads. So back to the hair salon again. If you remember in this video, I added them in here and I just thought they were so cute, so I really wanted to add them like across the doorway and in this area. Honestly, the further we get into Los Angeles, I probably am gonna have to go back and delete those because of the plot data, but for now they are adorable and we shall be keeping them. But yeah, what I'm gonna do is basically just try and attempt the outside. In fact, I have 10 minutes until I actually have to go and do something else. So in a few videos back, if you guys remember, I briefly mentioned how I was doing a kind of like huge giveaway thing in October, but I'm doing it with bloxburg food, and I'm not going to tell you guys too much, but yeah, I'm basically hoarding thousands of bloxburg food items right now, and I have someone from Bloxbite helping me. Roro, he is basically logging on every single day to give me this food I'm paying for, which is insane. So in 10 minutes I have to go and collect that, but whilst we wait, I'm just gonna try and figure out this kind of outside, because we kind of need like a little roof for me to stick a logo on. Let me move this out the way. I think I'm gonna have to make like a little fancy roof bit. So we are just gonna grab a basic shape and do this. I'm doing a really bad job at trying to fit this triangle in this space. There we go. So this is kind of like a base to add everything else on. Okay, so I ended up having to go collect my Halloween food, obviously, and after I decided to just finish off the rest of the exterior and time-lapse it. So what I did was I made another nail varnish bottle out of basic shapes, and then a nail varnish like wand thing next to it on the sign, which looks really cute. I then added hot carpets around the door to look like nail varnish kind of spilling out, which is very similar to what I used to do on builds a couple of years ago, but kind of like a lip gloss effect. And then I decided the sign didn't have enough detail, so I managed to make one of those, you know, those kind of like examples they show you of the nail color where they have it kind of painted on in a nail shape on like a kind of clear strip of paper, if that kind of makes sense. I basically added those onto the sign in a few different colors. I also thickened up the window outlines, and to top it all off, I kind of just added a bit more detail outside by using these bush decoration items. And then I got some bouquets on a basic shape, transformed these, and just stuck them into the bush because I just thought it looked kind of cute. But that is pretty much it. And now it's time for the final tour of Gloss to my Bloxburg nail salon. We did kind of settle that I would call it Gloss. It was going to be Get Gloss, but I just thought Gloss looked better on the sign. Also, I don't know how I feel about this font. I'm going to be real. I can't tell if I love it or hate it, but this is the build from the outside. Here is my little nail salon. I wanted to keep the outside kind of simple, so we just have a pink exterior with black windows and these very adorable little trees, which if you look at the back are just kind of bold because I didn't put them all the way around, but I think these actually look really cute. We have the front door area, we have some more trees around here, and then we also have a little sign because I did a bit of a photo shoot and kind of made a bunch of these images for all of the decals. But let's go inside. We are gonna head inside, and oh my goodness, guys, I do think this is one of my favorite builds ever. I'm gonna be so real. So if we start over here, we have the little waiting room area. Very cute. These are some of my favorite chair shapes. We have another of the kind of like, I keep going to say lip gloss, nail varnish lights. We have a little display area where you can buy some. We have another beautiful picture. This is Jazz. Here we have our little reception area. Let me stand behind there for a second. Oh my goodness, it's just so cute. I genuinely cannot get over this. It's so adorable. I love this so much. We of course have some more nail varnish up here. In here we have our little storage room area and kitchen, which looks pretty cute. Then of course we have our, let me sit down here, our little kind of pedicure area, some more pictures. I love the wood in this. Now what I've really wanted to do is make a spa, and I think I'm gonna go with this kind of wood scheme in it. But yeah, this is where you can, you know, sit and chill. This looks super cute. But then we're gonna move on to the final and my favorite area, which is the main kind of nail tables. I just love this so much. I'm so proud of this. This is the one thing I wanted to include, and I think I've done a really good job. And then of course we have the tables, which just look adorable. I just love it. Okay, this is like the coolest build I've ever done. I feel like it just looks so well put together, and that is pretty much it. That is my new nail salon in Bloxburg. Where should I stand for the outro? I think I'm gonna stand in front of the nail varnish wall. But that is all for today's video. Make sure you tell me down below what you guys thought of this build because I love it. This has made me so motivated to continue on the rest of Los Angeles. So let me know what you think, and I will see you guys in the next video, which might be tomorrow. Actually, I may be doing a grow a garden video, which is kind of crazy. But anyways, I love you all so much, glossettes. I hope you have an amazing evening. XOXO, Glossy Girl. Why did she turn her head when I was trying to say that? Okay, take two. XOXO, Glossy Girl.